Good afternoon, people. I'm Dave Temple. It's summer. Things are starting to change a bit as the city is opening up, and the opinions get a bit weary as the world opens back up and people are interacting with one another. And all of these new interactions with these new personalities always lead to what we like to call unpopular opinions. I'm Dave Temple, and these are unpopular opinions.
It's called Siri on the iPhone. What's it called on the Android?
Hey Google, or just start talking.
I wish it was like Daryl. Hey Daryl.
Hey, Daryl. This wasn't on the docket, but I do want to throw this out here as an unpopular opinion. iPhone people and Android people cannot exist in a relationship.
Yo, because you can't like the messages and shit. The compatibility right there. Like, if you want to send an emoji, you can't send an emoji. So, yeah, you miss out on all the little subtleties.
Yeah.
It's bigger than just the emoji, though. I think it's just the whole way of thinking, like the way that your brain even maneuvers to work with that operating system. You know what I mean? I think it's just a different part of the brain. It works different.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I think it's just a matter of learning the inputs, and there's really no difference between the two phones. I mean, but maybe with iPhone, you're more monogamous, and Android, you're more prone to cheating because Android is a way more open system.
Yeah, Android people definitely cheat way more. Like I've been just off the number of cracked screens alone. From phones being tossed around in pure frustration. Like, because I think there's a certain age where you're not dropping your phone to cracking anymore, right? No. Like, after, what would you say, about 35 is a good age where it's like, hey, I bought a phone, I bought a reliable case, a reliable screen cover. Like, yeah, there's some drops here and there, but not enough to crack the screen.
No, the screen cracks a lot from people getting or reacting to bad news on their phone. With your thumb, you just... I know a lot of people with cracked screens, and that cracked screen saved their partner's life.
Wow, with their thumbs they're breaking it?
Because you get a shitty this bitch and you crack
really? That's impressive.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it lately, but like before they started putting like Gorilla Glass and shit on, it was just a screen. So yeah, but I know cracked screens you can break your screen easily.
Were people breaking remote control? Not remote control. Game controllers for game consoles.
Yes,
they break. Okay.
Video games and televisions were a big thing also. My cousin and I were discussing this. We realized the different life that our children were having. His son was on his third TV. From punching or throwing remotes at the TV in anger. So he would only buy his child 19-inch televisions, and he kept the broken ones in the basement. You know what I mean? So that would be like, I think he got to a point where he's like, yeah, I'm not buying you anymore. You can even.
I was about to say, yeah, you don't replace it. You broke it. You fucking now you got no TV.
You know how moms are.
Yeah, and plus you're
moms are. I'll see if I can talk to him.
And your aim gets better as a kid if you can break that 19-incher. You can, you're practicing at that point in time.
I was
in the strike box
kid, but I never broke the controller. But I was definitely. It's funny when you grow up as an adult and you realize like that's fucking stupid, but it's not, because as a kid this is what's important to you.
Yeah.
And not being able to beat the game. It was Street Fighter 2 on level 6 difficulty, and I couldn't beat M. Bison, and but I get him down to like one.
We talking Super Nintendo?
Nintendo.
Okay, because Super Nintendo and Genesis.
Pretty durable.
Those were the first ones, though, that were breakable. Mm-hmm. Nintendo, original Nintendo, dude, you'd have to sever the cord to make that controller stop working.
Yeah.
And I hate where we are now with electronics, where even now I'm being told I have to give up my AirPods. I'm on like year 3 with my AirPods, and they just kind of randomly cut out. Mm-hmm. They'll just randomly stop working, fully charged, but I got to take them off. And my girl is like, yeah, it's 3 years. It's time to do it over. I'm like,
no, they used to be. The reason for that fucking up is they want you to buy new ones. We got to remember, they had to make it. We're at a spot where you could drive a car. Cars are like a good barometer of that. People are like, oh, back in the days, the cars could go forever. They were made out of steel. You could walk away from a crash. Like, bitch. There's reason for crumple zone. So that's a technological advancement that helped. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like now the cars are actually safer, right?
Mm-hmm.
With phones and personal electronics and shit like that, it's been proven in the courts of law that they would slow them down on purpose and reduce the performance level of these items to make you purchase a new one.
Yeah.
So that's why your girl is like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be, motherfucker, it's wide. Like headphones should work forever.
No,
especially without a wire.
They got little batteries in them, so they run out.
Those listen,
Right,
if
but
your
that's-
Legend of Zelda battery and your Nintendo cartridge is still good 35 years later, that battery shouldn't die either because it doesn't use a lot of energy. You understand what I'm saying? And you're charging it.
I don't know, man.
I
You're
guess they
saying
have a
Zelda had a
lifespan.
battery in it?
Yeah, the Legend of Zelda. That's why I never played any of the Zelda games because the first time that I played it for 4 hours, I went back and tried to put it in and it didn't work. So I blew on it, put it back in, and it glitched and erased everything.
That was another
And I
thing.
was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
Never.
games can do that now where you can go for hours and hours. But yeah, Nintendo, it used to overheat. That was about it. You know what I mean? Until they started putting like proper vents on the thing there. But yeah, I don't know. I guess they should last longer. I mean, Walkman, you never had to replace those things, and look at where that company is. So.
The worst thing would be like if you played it too much, and if it was a cheap Walkman, it would slow down. You ever have that?
I thought that was when the batteries were dying.
No. Even when you put fresh batteries in, like the motors or the gears or whatever, it would just play a little slower. You'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Getting exhausted. Yeah.
But
All right.
a Sony Walkman, Iowa Walkman, Sharp. You take any piece of technology from the 80s, VHS recorders, anything. Betamax shit still works. You know what I mean? But when it comes to your cell phone, like your cell phone, they should just be able to update it. Once you get like you should have to be able to max out the chips that are in it, right? But what they did was, as they introduced new stuff with the operating systems, right? When they ask you to update your phone, what they would do is if you had an older phone, that update would slow your phone down and start giving your phone problems.
Okay.
But that was Apple and Android.
Yeah, and this is why automation is never going to happen. Tell me one piece of fucking machinery that has ever lasted more than like
shit.
5.5 years. I'm so anti like automation and it's weird because I feel like a guy who's telling Christopher Columbus that the world is flat is like, if you sail over there, you're gonna fucking fall off, Christopher. Like I feel like that guy, but I just don't see how this stuff is gonna work. It's like the more and more you think about it, it's like, how is this gonna work? Like everyone's job is gonna be like fucking fixing robots. Everyone's gonna be employed.
I mean, until robots start fixing robots and repairing robots, in which case, then what the fuck are we even gonna do?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think you get to that point
Uh-huh.
without Terminator 2, but that's another subject entirely.
That's coming.
But I mean, especially when you look at it like the entire point, like they want to raise the minimum wage. What will happen is when they raise the minimum wage, like at McDonald's, they'll just fire all the people that work there and hire one person to fix all the robots.
Yeah.
But then what ends up happening is when the robots realize they're not making minimum wages, that's when Terminator 2 will probably start.
That's what happened to me in my last job, man. I was making about $80,000 a year, but 40 of it was base salary guaranteed. The other stuff was like 4 quarterly bonuses, which would usually be around $10K based on performance. But they started bringing in new kids, all of the new hires. Their contracts were starting them at $28K. They were still getting those $10K quarterly bonuses, but boom, they were already $12,000 cheaper than the other top performing guys that had been there for like a year. And slowly but surely, you just started seeing guys of my caliber just getting let go for like minor nuances. You know what I mean? Just dumb shit. People were just get the fuck out.
But that's when that company is also on its way out. When you're cutting costs like that, like you're just like, okay. Like there's so much middle management in companies, it's fucking ridiculous. And like once those, like if you look at companies, and I don't know shit from shampoo, but I would have to imagine everybody in these companies, you're like, why is everyone on the board getting paid this much money? Wait, why is this guy why are there 5 vice presidents? It's like, some of it just doesn't run properly, and they're like, yeah, just cut the bottom line. And they don't give a fuck because nobody stays at the company anymore. I also realize like when I have these type of conversations, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it sounds like half rational.
Well, you're wearing a seersucker suit, and you're sitting like you know what you're talking about. Come on, man.
I'm completely buying it, so.
But it has to make sense. It's like sometimes you're like, you look at these like companies that go out of business, and you're like, you're paying vice presidents this much money, and he did what, and this person did what, and who, and that's why there's this guy that's interesting, like corporate raiders. They come into companies and they go, you're all fired at the top of the line, and they replace all the board, and that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
when they're like, you're so mismanaged because people don't care. They're like, I get a paycheck, and that's all I care about.
A hostile takeover.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the. I just had a Red Bull, so I'm firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
But,
what else you got? What you got?
Nobody wants to talk to robots either, so they're not going to be at McDonald's.
No, but they have the kiosks. Instead of you going to the register and putting an order in with a human being. You just tap a screen.
Understood, but I still want a human being to I want to see human beings.
There's 4 people working at the McDonald's. Like if you go to the one in Times Square, there's cooks and a manager on duty. So there's like 4 to 5 people working, but there's literally like 300 people putting orders on those kiosks, and they're just being run into the fucking ground.
Right, but like for example, if you put the guy who has the lunch cart and then you put a vending machine next to him and they're both selling sodas, I'm going to the guy in the cart.
Yeah, that would put you in the minority because people want that McDonald's.
And I hate talking to people.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like I would still rather go to a human being.
That's what I'm about to say. Don't you think kiosks, specifically like McDonald's, will improve like employee customer relations? Because there's a lot of fighting going on in McDonald's. I mean, there's probably still going to get a kiosk that's going to get punched and cracked, but McDonald's will replace that, next day.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe you can also get better fight videos inside of a McDonald's because the kiosk has a really good camera.
I'm surprised. That's hilarious.
Like, it's filming everything. It's like Spielberg-esque.
Yeah, people will still find a way to fight with each other, which is why I'm surprised McDonald's still lets people in to this day. Like,
you think it should just be drive-through?
Checkers never gave a fuck, dude. Checkers 2 drive-throughs, and you guys can walk in between the drive-throughs and get your shit, but you're not coming in the store. You know what I mean? Which, it sucks for the employees because you're like, Jesus Christ, is this really where I work? Like, I don't even know how you put in an application at a store like that. You know what I mean? I feel like you just get sent there. But
I saw, actually, this funny this weekend, talking about McDonald's, that they have a clothing line. And it's at cost, and I'm gonna buy these things. I'm gonna buy a McDonald's button down instead of like the polo guy they have at McDonald's arches. They're like $6.
Yeah, because those used to be like work uniforms, right? Like a manager used to have a button-up shirt with an M logo.
Yeah, I think they have to sell something like that. But like, I feel like this is going to be like I haven't eaten at McDonald's for 12 years or whatever, but I'm gonna start wearing their clothes.
That would be hilarious, just to start wearing their clothes.
Fuck it,
I can't imagine how people don't just buy these and just go to McDonald's and fuck with people.
Yeah,
maybe
I would.
Maybe we could do it.
If I had a little M on my shirt, I would definitely kick people out.
Yo, we could do like a robbery. We could be like, yeah, I'm the regional manager. They sent me here from Michigan. And they're like, okay. You go behind the register. You open it all up. You just walk. Dude, that's a good fucking heist.
Yeah, there's too many 5s and 10s in this register. I'm going to take these with me back to corporate.
And then the kiosk turns into a fucking transformer. It's like, don't you dare.
The T1000 fucking kiosk, yeah.
So let's get into this, man. What else we got? There's another topic on the chopping block. It's all of us like vagina. You would think bountiful or plentiful amounts of vagina would be good thing, right? Like juggling women, like multiple women that you're not married to and you should have sex with should be a good thing, but it's not.
No.
I mean, I think it's exhausting to deal with so many people. Or especially women, you have all these women. It's like, I don't know how people do it. Like, that's my thing. And like, I'm looking at they're like, look at this actor and look at this musician, look at this guy. He's got so many women. And I'm just like, I tried that before. It was exhausting. I couldn't handle more than 3 weeks of it. I was like, I just stopped. Like, I never, I'm anti-ghosting, but I did understand now you just got to ghost people. It's like, all right, I got to let you go.
Yeah. I think the way to manage multiple women is you have to be like a chiseled manager that just doesn't give a fuck. That cold-hearted manager who doesn't even look up from his clipboard. You're like, hey, I need to take some time off work tomorrow. And you're like, all right, just fill out the slip. Like, you literally have to manage multiple women like inventory. It's just stock. You can't look at them as people.
Yeah, no, isn't that bizarre? I can't get my fucking head around it.
Well, I mean, if you're not in a relationship with them, are they people? Realistically, like women that you're not in a relationship and you don't care about their feelings or anything. That's not a relationship. Like you don't see that as a person.
That's maniacal to me.
Looking at a woman that you like, she's not she's a person, but not to me. You know what I mean? Like,
jeez, and I'm like, I look like the perfect version of a sociopath, and I can't.
That's
get
a very cold-blooded pimp shit to say, right there. That she's not a person.
Well, it's a different. Like, if I care about her, yes, she's a person. But if I'm gonna put her in the state of like she's one of 14, in order for me to manage 14 people.
And I guess are the 14, are they also like they know that they're probably one of a number?
They figure it out pretty fast. You know what I mean? And that for some weird reason in women's world, that makes them want you more. You know what I mean? Like Patrice O'Neal had.
Is it a winning thing? Like, hey, I won. This is what I won, even though it's not much that you won. But yeah, I beat out all these other competitors.
Yeah, because women hate other women. Women don't ever want to know that another woman beat them at anything. You know what I mean? That's where you see women kind of getting caught up fighting over like a junkie. You ever see like a junkie has two other junkie women fighting over him in front of a McDonald's? You know what I mean? And you're just like, hey, guys, this guy's a junkie. But women hatred trumps that kind of common sense. It's like, well, no, but this bitch thinks she's better than me. Like, I already know he's trash. This bitch thinks I'm beneath her. And she's like, I need to get that fixed before anything else.
Right, this is my trash. No, I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, and then as the guy involved in it, how is that not exhausting? You got to like do all this stuff. It's like, do these people lack hobbies? You know what I mean? Like, don't you have better things to do than to juggle women?
Full-time job.
And I'm not even saying this like I'm like so like pro monogamy and family. Like I am, but it's like, yeah, if you want multiple women, go for it. But I'm just like, I don't know how I just can't get my head around like how that's not exhausting.
So I'll tell you how it happened for me. So I went through a period in my life where the reason why I picked 14, because I was dealing with 14 women at one time. Yes. Jeez. Not a proud moment.
No, be proud. No, fuck that. Unpopular opinion. If you fuck around with 14 bitches at the same time, that's a lot. I salute you.
I've had this.
Is that emotionally? There's something wrong with you.
It was something wrong with me. Okay.
I think there is.
No, there was nothing wrong. How old were you?
I was like 20.
There you go. That's it. Just stop right there. That's it. That's good. Like that's what you do in your early 20s. And you juggle women.
Right.
Okay. You and women and listen. You juggle people because women do that shit too. We a lot of times we sell. I'm gonna say something nice, but it's gonna sound fucked up. A lot of time we sell bitches short. All right, women is out there doing the same shit that we doing.
Okay.
So
yeah.
That's just a relationship. In your early 20s, you fuck around.
Okay, so here's what happened in my situation. I was in a committed relationship. Definitely thought this girl is the one. Like a head over heels, 160% in love, right? You know what I mean?
And you still fucked around.
No.
Okay.
She fucked around.
Okay.
She fucked around. She went off, got pregnant by somebody else. You know what I mean? And it crushed me, right? Because I'm like,
so now you had to get even with the world.
Yeah. So shout out to Toya. Yeah, you got 14 bitches hurt. But like basically, I started
the butterfly effect. You did this to them.
No, take responsibility for what you did, Dave. That wasn't Toya. That was you.
No, Dave is just a vehicle of pain.
No. You made the conscious decision to do it.
It wasn't conscious.
Reaction to pain.
It wasn't conscious.
You don't want to acknowledge that it was conscious.
I didn't mean for it to get to 14. It got to I just went through a period of, I knew there was a certain number of vaginas that I needed to get to get past the one vagina.
And that's 2 touchdowns.
I didn't know the number. I didn't know the number.
Point, yeah.
But I was doing comedy at the time, and that's the thing. It was kind of easy at that point. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because all you got to do is be a little bit charismatic. So the thing that happened was I just didn't say no to anybody. You know what I mean? And so now, like, yes, every morning there's a good morning text to 14 people. I didn't know at the time.
Wow. Wait, you got to text them every day too?
I used to, yeah, because I thought as a 20-something-year-old, I thought that's how you keep these girls engaged. Right. You know what I mean? Right. You got to text them and talk to them all day long.
Is it a once every 3 day thing now? Like if you're smarter,
I would never deal with that many women ever again. I don't even think I would deal with 2 women.
This is what you do. Again, this is when you're talking about a young man's game. That's what you do when you're 25 because you have to get all this shit out your system so you can get older and become a fucking adult. That's the first thing.
Understood.
And then, but secondly, I don't think the appreciation, because like, all right, that's one thing what you did, which is like, oh man, I fucked around with 14 people. Dave, it's not like you have families. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's commitment. When you go have 2 or 3 families that don't meet each other until you dead and they meet at the funeral, that's some Puerto Rican shit right there.
Yeah,
that is insanity.
And that's someone who also looks at their children, not as people.
Yo, that is
no. And on that
bizarre.
level, you're like, yo, which of these kids is gonna be best equipped to take care of me when I get old?
Yeah, which is not a, come on, unpopular opinion. That's not a
It's
bad
a mercenary thing, but it's
It's not sociopathic mental illness type thing.
oh, it is.
I
Definitely.
mean,
but it's
is
also
it
survival.
really? Like you said, if you're gonna plant 28 children on this earth, one of them is bound to be able to take care of you when you get old. You know
you
what
just
I mean?
gotta hope you pick the right one to nurture.
Yeah.
Damn. Again,
And kids don't require much. Just a phone call every now and
What?
again. $5.
dude,
in a
I
report
didn't
card.
water my plants for 2 days and it's fucking dead.
Yeah, those are plants. Plants require too much.
So children need less than plants.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I'm
think,
learning a lot here. This is
I
great.
think children do need less than plants because here's why. Humans are so fucked up, right? Especially like if I'm the kind of dad that has 28 kids, what the fuck can I offer my kid? I'm better off staying away. Here's $5. Hopefully you learn something better than what I learned. You're like, do we really need another one of me walking around
Wow.
with that sociopathic mentality that women aren't people, children aren't people, someone take care of me because I gave you life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know way too many guys who are happier because they do everything the opposite of what they learned from their father.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I get that. I mean, I guess it's got to go to generation. But this stuff is honestly like, you're like, it's like I woke up from a coma and you're talking to me about the world. Like, this is so unbelievable. And I know that people do it, but I'm just like, I don't know. They got to have something behind and like whatever. And I empathize with people. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But when they're like, when you guys are talking about it like this, I'm like fucking blown away.
Yeah, man. It's wild, man.
And we're out there
Especially-
like crucifying other people for whatever. But
well,
people,
this is how heartless and cold I got in it. All right, like there was at one point I offered a woman. I went to. I thought I was returning earrings to a girl, on some. You left these here the last time you were here, and she, when I went to give her the earrings, she's like, "These aren't mine. Are you serious?" And I was very cavalier, very casual. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I guess this is over. She didn't leave. She like harassed me for a few hours about the earrings, but like we still fucked around for like another month. You know what I mean? And she was just
Because
trying
you're
to
there
figure out.
till she finds a replacement for you in the lineup.
Yeah.
You know what I would have done? I would have had plastic baggies with the little labels on them, and whenever anybody left something, I would like put it in the bag and then label like Latoya, and then like next time. But
Yeah.
that's when it goes. Is that not like fucking Dexter?
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
is it
'cause
just
now,
smart?
Yeah, no, it
Because
is,
now
it
you
is.
have to become the most organized person in the world. You
Yeah.
have to remember what you were talking about. Yeah, there's no time for family. During this time that I was talking to 14 women, you think my grandmother got a call? Fuck no. Like I can't switch.
Hey, you
out of
always
that
make time
mode.
for your grandmother.
I didn't have time to talk to Nana. You know what I mean?
It's funny we talking about like shit getting left behind. I was doing the laundry, and I had a sock that I thought was my girl's. A little sock, right? And I was like, oh yeah, here's some shit you left here, and he left. I don't know why you left this one sock. And she looks at me, she goes, well, that's not my sock. And then she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, all right, well, I have no idea where this came from. And she looks at me, and she goes, well, it was probably like in the dryer. And I was like, yo, as the mercenary, like, because I'm a good guy now, but like the mercenary part of my brain was like, could have saved myself so much hassle if I'd have used that excuse 15 years ago, 14 years
Ah,
ago.
yeah. And
Right?
it came just like
Where did
that.
this come from? I don't know. I must have been in the
It's
dryer.
been in the dryer.
That's
But
like
it never occurred to me that you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But she's such a good person. She was like, yeah, one of us probably picked it up from in the dryer.
Right.
Somebody left it in the dryer. Oh, okay, yeah. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't fold shit. I just snatch shit up, throw it in the bag.
We should start a website called excuses.com and add that to it.
I guarantee somebody's got that fucking. And
Is
if not,
just
Sam
like,
already wrote it down. It said,
Yeah.
text his cousin,
an archive of the
excuses.com.
greatest fucking excuses.
Yeah.
And I bet you there'd be guys with 5 families on them with like really great excuses. Like I thought they died or something.
I think your real world biases are creeping into your entertainment reviews right now.
Yeah, I think so too. But
I think
fucks with
that's
it.
fine because-
I fuck with it. Because I get it. I felt the same way. I was getting COVID tests by girls in vans blasting DMX with Louis Vuitton bags on the seats, and I'm like, Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got a COVID.
And all they have to do is poke you in the nose.
Yeah, but
So
not
it's not like you had to go to med school for this.
But one
but
girl mask was like this, man. Like if she, I can see your nose ring. My doctor should not have a nose ring.
But that's why she has the fucking mask on here, right? Let her fucking live. Let her fucking have her nose ring out. That ring is specially treated to keep all fucking viruses out of her nose.
I don't know, man. All right, man. Ladies do have some different logic every now and again, man. I see our next guest that just came in. Let's get her to weigh in and see where she is. Give it up for Riley Lassin, y'all. Hey, Riley, what's going on, love? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So what's your unpopular opinion this week?
My unpopular opinion is the middle seat on the plane is the best seat.
Wow.
Yeah. How?
Definitely did not see that coming at all. Please elaborate.
I love the middle seat. I love it. I've always loved the middle seat. The thing is, the window seat is cliche. Everybody wants that window seat.
Okay.
Everybody also wants the aisle seat. You got to go to the bathroom, whatever. The middle seat person gets the best of both worlds. Okay? You're the middle. I love being next to people. I think you feel safer. I feel safe in between people. I don't know what it is. And when the drinks come by, if you're asleep, somebody will wake you up.
Yeah,
if you're
there's
on the
no
window
way.
Seat, no one's waking you up.
Dude,
One.
if you wake up from a middle seat nap to see everyone around you eating and drinking, you really fucked up. Like, no one likes you.
No one likes you. The fact that nobody woke you up.
They were like, shh.
You're like, oh, just go pass the drink, pass the pretzels, pass over here. Nobody fucking likes you. I love the middle seat. I think it's, people respect you. And when you tell people you did the middle seat, they're like, wow, you're in the middle seat.
You voluntarily took it?
You took the middle seat, and it wasn't that big a deal.
That means you booked your tickets on Expedia. That's all they sell is middle seats on Expedia. Like,
you're not wrong, dude. You're not. I just went to Miami, and I had the middle seat. And I had the best time. Okay, because the one person next to me wanted to talk, the person next to me wanted to sleep, and I could pick and choose what I wanted. I could have talked to that person. I could have been like, I'm also knocking out. Like, it was great. I could pick and choose what I want.
Wow.
The aisle oh gosh, if you have to move to get out of the way, people knock you. The window seat is awkward. You're just scrunched up against that wall.
My hand gets banged with the tray when they come down. Like, it's the way my hands kind of hang out, and they usually have to run into it with the tray for me to be like, all right, I'm sorry, I'll sit like this. You know, like aisle seat, I'm not getting any aisle seat love.
Do you guys put your hands on the rest?
I have to.
Armrest?
Yeah. I have to.
But that middle seat person gets first pick.
Well, I don't care.
You give it to them first.
I will
right?
rest my arm on top of someone else's arms. I have to. Like, my arms are heavy.
Like, you guys are all
Yeah.
I feel bad because I feel like you all guys wanted that, what is it? The one where it's like the first seat? In the aisle,
the exit row.
The exit row. That's also no. I do not want a job on a plane.
Well, they charge for that now.
Yeah.
No.
They charge.
What?
I just tried to book a flight for me and my daughter, and I looked at, because the exit row seats were open, an additional $119 per person to ride there. That's more than first class now. An additional $119.
And you have a whole job.
Yeah.
Because if the plane goes down, you have to open the door.
Not only open the door, you're supposed to hold the door open.
Yeah.
You don't get to just jump out.
Well,
You're paying extra to die.
Yeah.
Well, no, everyone's gonna die because the water's cold. I feel like at least like I get to push y'all in the water first. Y'all get to see it. You know what I mean? I get to see if there's any alligators or any sharks down there. You know what I mean? Like,
you become a doorman, don't you? It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
You're a death concierge.
yeah.
Exactly. And so you have to pay extra for that?
I think
That's
so.
stupid. I do not, when I'm on a flight, I want to be cozy. I want to be in my seat. I don't want to be thinking about if the plane goes down, I have to open the door for somebody. I'm not at a Wawa. I don't want to be opening the door for people coming in and out. I want to get off that plane.
Now, just out of curiosity, Riley.
Yes.
How many plane crashes have you been in that this door opening is such a problem for
I
you?
hate the fact that when you go on a plane, you could have a job. I don't want to I want to go on a plane.
And that's the only
just
job they
relax.
give you. They don't let you get any of the cool jobs like handing shit out or showing how the seatbelts work or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
This sounds
The
very
one job
anti,
the one job you
stewardess.
need training for, they just give you. They just give you that job. Think about that for a second. Just like,
Yeah.
see that door? If we start fucking up, handle that.
Yeah.
How? There's instructions on the wall.
What are the stewardesses going to be doing? That's the thing I always wonder. What are all of these flight attendants going to be doing when
While
the plane
we
goes
open the
down that
door.
we need to be doing the door? Like, are they... Because that makes me wonder, do they plan on not being around when we get to the ground?
According to a friend of mine, they're going to start shooting really, really good heroin as the plane is going down so that they don't have to fucking deal with you.
That
They're all
is
gonna die
probably
anyway.
the best thing to do, right?
I think that's what they said in Fight Club. The oxygen is for.
It gets you high.
Calm you down.
Yeah, so you can
Oh,
relax
so
a
when
bit.
the oxygen comes down, just for us to calm down.
Yeah, it gets you high.
Well, that's a Tyler Durden theory, but
But it's also now who doesn't get, because they don't stop you from drinking if you're sitting in that seat. So like, how serious are they about you need to do this job?
well, the job is opening the door,
That's about
and
it.
it's just pulling the latch.
Okay.
So even a drunk person can.
That's got to be hard though. Like the plane is you're in the air. Like how hard is it to open that? It's got to be hard.
No, you don't open it until it hits the ground.
Yep.
I think that it's just there for it's like it's
Yeah. Did you thought it was opening in midair? Did you think people were going to be jumping out, like parachuting out? Like we were paratroopers? No. This is after we.
27 years old, and this whole time I thought you're in the air. You're like, go, 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 go.
No.
Wow.
If you land.
Thank God.
So like, okay.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
You would have just made it so much worse.
If you land anywhere other than at the airport, they might let you out that way, where there's like a sliding board that comes out that you can slide off. Or if you're in the water, then you open it and people start jumping into the water. You know what I mean?
So the job's not as bad as I thought. They didn't give me the whole criteria. My imagination got the best
Thank
of
God you have never been in that seat when the plane hit wild turbulence because you would have killed everybody on board.
Me. Killed everybody.
But
Oh.
upon further listening, I agree with Riley. Middle seats are the best for her.
Oh my God.
Would you rather sit? Where would you sit, Dave? Like if you had to pick your best plane seat.
My best plane seat.
If you guys could pick you can't sit in first class. This is all.
not first class.
This is
Not first class.
Where would you sit if you could sit the
First aisle seat behind first class. First aisle
best? So
seat.
the door opener.
Huh?
The door opener.
No. There's no door there. This is just the first regular seat.
There's like a curtain.
Yeah, I'm right behind the curtain. So basically, I can get out first. The thing that pisses me off the most about when a plane lands is
Here we
when
go.
everyone stands up. And again, guys, we're not going anywhere. You know it takes them a while. You got to hear the bzz, 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 bzz. Then they got to fucking open the door and all this shit. And then everybody's got to get their luggage out of the top. And I don't know why people all forget about that. Like a lot of people just stand and they're like,
They're like, oh, I'm stretching. It's like, guys, we've been flying for an hour.
and they
you
stand
don't
like
have
this
to-
underneath the thing. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like, I have to stand up now. It's like if you sat down, you'd be more comfortable.
just sit and fucking wait.
And they're leaning against the chairs too.
Yeah.
They lean on top of you. And you're like, really, dude? Like, yeah.
Yeah, there's some guys who start doing ballistic stretches in the aisle. Like, bro, you gotta wait till you get in the airport.
Yo, here's the heinous thing that people like when you I don't know how you say this, like how people anyway. You know, when we always bitch about when the subway doors open and there's somebody standing there. It's like, how do you think that this is going to work? That you're going to get like, I get off, you get on. Like, how did people miss that? Motherfuckers that they don't know it's row by row exit. Like,
No.
it gets up and a person is already next to me from like 2 rows back there. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, go back there and sit down. Like, how did you not? How does common sense? It's like that's the next one that
And
drives me
then
crazy.
there's the people. This is also why I want to sit up front so that when I can get out before, because there's always the one person who gets on the plane late. They're sitting in row 7, but they can only find overhead baggage space over seat 21.
So then
And
they have to
they're
go
like,
all the way back.
I gotta get back to get my. And it's like now no one can get off because this guy is like.
Instead of just letting everybody pass you,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you're gonna
That should
pull
be a
that,
job.
You should wait. Yes.
that should be a
Yes.
job at the end. When you get off the plane, that should be a job that they assign somebody. Hey, you get everybody off this plane in an orderly fashion.
Oh.
Well, isn't that that what the stewardess, the flight attendant, whatever? Like, I don't know what the fuck they do after they give out the
We're
drinks.
saying all these jobs right now. We're
Yeah,
like, wait, who's
like
doing
they
that?
make a lot of money, and they pass out a few sodas, and they demonstrate a safety belt, and that's it, dude.
I
Other
don't
than
know
that,
if they make a lot of money.
they don't.
No, all I hear is stewardesses have roommates. That might be a stereotype, but
Oh, but I have to say, my friends who are like who work on the airplanes, they love it. They love it because you get to travel, you get points,
And you
It's
get to
pretty.
act
you get
like
points
you do.
while you work.
Yeah.
You get points and stuff. I think.
While you working,
I'm pretty.
you
I'm
also
sure.
did think that everybody was like exiting the like
You guys
their-
don't listen to me.
Yeah.
I don't know shit. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And why do first class people sit like? Why don't they wait? Like if I was first class, I go.
You'd want to wait. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the plane
Yeah, I don't
until
want people
everyone
looking at me
You
and make
guys
eye
should
contact
wait
with
on
me.
me. Like if the plane leaves at 9:30, then you should start boarding regular people at 9, and the luxury people get to come on at like 9:20.
See, that makes sense to me. Like you guys can come a little later to the airport. You can relax.
But they want to go. They're like,
Right.
oh, I'm
But
zone one.
The
I
thing is,
can't wait
everyone
to
wants to go first. You're right.
Yeah, it's like, why
everyone
don't-
gets intense about the zones.
Right.
They're like zone 2, and they're like, miss your zone 3. She's like, oh, I thought I heard zone 2. Like, wait 5 minutes. You're right.
Yeah, so the patience, people lack patience on the. They just don't get it. It's like if you just gave them one idea, like, oh yeah, that does make sense. I should stop doing that.
Especially once I get to the loading area, if there is a child anywhere that looks like they're getting on the plane, I want to be dead last getting on this plane. I don't want to be on the plane with this kid. I want to be on here the least amount of time as possible. And if I'm boarding group 1 and that child is group 1, I just added at least 40 extra minutes of being around this kid that, I shouldn't have to fucking tolerate, Like,
And when the plane starts to go down, like as soon as we're landing, their eardrums are about to pop. So all the kids are about to go off.
Yeah.
Like they're quiet for a good 2 hours, and then they're like, "Okay, we're about to land." And you're like, "Oh, here we go." And then turbulence, and it's like, "Rah!" And it's like, "Oh God, nope."
Yeah.
That's why the middle seat's the best.
You know who we should get to chime in on this? Jerry Seinfeld.
the thing about the middle seat, windows overrated in the aisle, but in the middle, it's comfy.
No,
cozy.
these are my favorite unpopular opinions. Is like the stuff that's like, the minute like stuff like when people are
I
like,
know.
I hate pizza. I'm like, I'm listening.
I love it. I would have never thought, especially because I fly often, just
Yeah.
filling up last minute. So I'm way too big to be in the middle seat. I need to get money. So
Yeah,
that I can
I'm
get
an
first
aisle
class.
guy, but you made some good
You
good
gotta
arguments.
pay $20 extra to sit on the fucking aisle.
Yeah,
That's rough.
yeah.
And then, do you guys go to the bathroom on the plane?
I try not to. Like
know,
I fly
I don't like
empty.
that. I don't like it.
Like,
Yeah.
So here's my deal. I stop eating like 15 hours before I fly.
Wait, okay.
Here's why.
Wow,
Here's
that's
why.
smart.
Wait.
I want
that's
an
a little-
empty digestive tract.
Okay.
This comes
Not
from
like a snack.
this is from jail. I learned this from jail. I learned if you know you're going to jail, don't eat the night before. Like if you're going to court and you know you're going to
Wow.
lose, don't, because the process of intake before I get to a cell and my own toilet could be anywhere between 22 to 40
You
hours.
can't just be like, hey, can I run to the bathroom real fast?
I don't want to shit in that one. Like I want to get in the, my thing, but also you never know where you're going to be. You know what I mean? Like, so I looked at traveling the same way. Like I remember my first time doing this, I took a bus to Atlanta because I had a road gig. I basically was doing a show in Atlanta, but I wasn't making enough money to cover a plane ticket. I wouldn't have made any money. So I took the Chinese bus from New York to Atlanta, 20 hours. And I knew my goal was, I know how the Chinese bus bathroom is. I'm not fucking with it. So
20 hours.
I had a gallon of water. And if I ever got hungry, I just chugged a shit ton of water. I'll pee, but I would fill up with water, and I never had to shit until I got to the thing. And now, in my mind, if the plane goes down, I don't want to be like in the wilderness and have to shit. Like I want to be able to like maneuver.
Dave, you're so good at planning.
Yeah, you got
So
to.
good.
Well, you didn't plan for your inevitable death if the plane goes down anywhere near a forest. You're not. Let's get this out of the way. Nobody's surviving a land crash. Just doesn't happen.
You know what also is good about the middle seat now that I'm thinking about it more, the gears are turning?
Go ahead.
It's just one long hug.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's
That's what you're into.
See,
Okay.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like their personal space. I love the back row, middle seat.
Wow.
'Cause
Back row.
I didn't say that to start off because I wanted to like lean into it a little bit. I wanted you guys to warm up to the
Talk
back
to
middle
me about
seat.
the back row.
Like you said, it's a hug. I feel so secure back there, and especially because like two grown men next to me, like I feel so. They can't. I know they can't beat up the plane if it goes down, but like I feel so secure being in the middle against a wall. Oh my god,
Wow.
I can knock
Against
out.
you can't even recline when you're
Nope.
against the back wall.
I didn't know you could even recline on planes till last year.
Jesus
Wow.
This whole time, this whole time, I've been on planes like, wow, I wonder what happened to their seat, thinking it broke or something. And then finally, I'm like, oh, you can lean back.
Christ. Wow.
I didn't know you could.
You need a whole show of like
Things
going
Riley
around
didn't
with
know.
Dave who like does and plans stuff. And you're like, wow, that's how it works. It's like you get to see like pure child
Hold on.
bliss and enjoyment.
So
like,
it.
do you
Whoa.
know about the headrest on the
or
plane
how
seats?
you can kind of do this now.
Yeah, you can turn it around
Yes,
that way your
I took
head
a
can.
Spirit to Miami. They did not have that.
Oh yeah, Spirit. We
No.
talked about
It
Spirit.
was like
Frontier
it
Airlines.
was lawn chairs. If lawn chairs were set up on a plane,
Spirit also has.
it was rough.
Spirit also has a contraption in the rear of the headrest that can hold your phone or tablet. Like most planes have a screen there that you can watch movies. They're like, yeah, you jam your phone in there.
Hope you brought your own shit.
you know what's funny about Spirit is that's what you are after you die. And you're headed on an airplane. It's like an airline called Ghost. Or an airline called I don't know.
Like
you
that's
guys,
super morbid. And the thing is, my mom hates flying. So when I booked this flight to Miami, my mom, like usually my mom freaks out. She's like, "Oh God, you're flying! Oh my God!" She's like, "Old Jewish woman. Oh my God, you're flying." For some reason, she was so chill. I'm like, "Why are you so chill?" She goes, "I don't think they have enough planes for them to crash." Like she's like, "I think they have to be
Hilarious.
really careful
Absolutely
because they
hilarious.
can't afford
Yeah, that's-
more planes." I was like, I'm glad that you're confident in the fact that I'm going to be okay. But that's a weird way of thinking.
Yeah, that's how I got over a fear of roller coasters. I said, because I thought, I was like, they can't afford for people to die on this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they would, the park goes out of business if like what, 2 people die, 3 people die. It's like, it's not good. So if you think about it like that way, like people don't want you to die because of money. And that's a great thing about money. Is that it's like, it needs a, how about, do you like, you probably like weighted blankets.
Oh God.
I knew it.
I love a weighted blanket. I think I have sensory issues. Like I love, I love that stuff. Except it only goes up to 15 pounds. I need like a whole human on top of me. But
I knew that's where you were going with it. I need like a 230-pound black blanket.
it's true. It's not false.
No, Riley, I fucking appreciate
This
it, man.
is fun. Oh, that was
Where
a
can
good
the people
laugh.
find you if they're looking for you online?
You can find me at Riley Lassin on all Instagram, Twitter, all that. Yeah.
All right, no
Yeah.
doubt. Thanks for coming by, man.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
weighing in. All right.
Guys, had a lot of fun.
No
that
doubt.
was fun.
Thank you. Yeah, he just exit stage left. All right. Man, dude, that I never thought I would ever hear anyone say they love the middle seat.
No. I've never. I never really liked the window. I like the aisle because you have a little bit more room.
I've flown exclusively middle seats also, and I don't talk about it because I fucking hate it. You know what I mean? And like I'm because I'm late getting on the plane, I usually have to jam my bag in the seat underneath me.
Yeah.
So I fly like this a lot, like just, you know what I mean? And then I just get obliterated high, and I just kind of pass out. You know?
It's the way to do it. Always fly high.
Yeah, man, flying high.
Yeah, because if something goes horribly wrong, you at least be closer to God when you get there.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things too. It helps you. That's like how people are drunk and in car accidents, but because they were so drunk, their blood flow was like restricted, and they ended up not bleeding out. Because does the same thing happen when you're high? Does your blood flow slow down?
Everything, everything tightens up.
Yeah.
Internally, yeah.
I don't think
you're
that's
dehydrating
true
yourself.
for some reason.
No, you're dehydrating yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Yeah, like if you smoke real good loud, why do you think you get cotton mouth? Because all the available liquid in your body is being put to use, not letting you die, and then you go through all of that shit. That's why your mouth gets dry.
Okay.
That's why, as Mobb Deep said, you get high to the cotton mouth. Like that. That's
I understand that part.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what our next guest has to say, man. I see he just walked in the building, man. Give it up for James Camacho, man. Come on, let's get him in here, man.
Over.
I like
What
this
up, Jay?
guy a lot, man. James, what's happening, man? Look at
up,
you
dude?
with the Uncle Vinny shirts on. How you feeling?
I'm all right, dude. I just got certified my weekly benefits for my unemployment, so it's a pretty good day.
Yeah.
It's right now 6:30. They changed the time from 5 to 6:30.
Hold on, you get to do yours on in the middle of the week like that, or are you running late? Like, were you lunching?
No. I could do it in the middle of the week. I claim I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's
okay.
why. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Is it different in New York?
I'm claiming mine from Pennsylvania, so I don't know.
Oh yeah. Is it
I
different?
think in New York it's Sunday. I'm not sure.
I mean, you could do it all week long, but if you didn't do it by Sunday or Monday, it was usually because you just forgot. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. I used to forget the first like 4 or 5 weeks I had it. I forgot every week.
Yeah.
And then my mom, she's Asian, so she just kept hounding me about it. Like, did you start? I'm like, no. And she goes, what the fuck is wrong with you? That is your only source of income, right? Why are you just like, oh, I'm busy with? She's like, there's nothing more important than fucking money. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Dude,
So
I was trying to say this earlier that is symbol of a good parent. Like if your kid is comfortable enough fucking up in the world, you did a good job. Your kid is comfortable. You know what I mean?
I disagree. I mean, I think that's just like what do you call it? The disease of comfort.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They
I mean,
provided
like,
comfort.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
at the peak. You're at the peak of your lineage. Like, do you imagine what your ancestors were doing, or all of ours, like 300 years ago? Like, it was bad. You know what I mean? And then now look what we're doing now. We're
just the concept of unemployment, like this is like ridiculous. It's just giving me money every week.
Well, no, because you pay into that whenever you have a job, and everybody who has a job pays into
that's
it.
your money to
Like
give
for,
back.
for example,
I
the
don't
whole
know.
thing
It's
last year, and the crazy thing is that like for the first time ever, it was necessary for a way because the stigma used to be like, yo, if you want unemployment, you don't want a job. Like motherfucker, there's no jobs.
Yeah.
There was nothing to do a year ago when this shit popped off.
but people
Yeah.
didn't pay into it that were freelancers and had their own business too, so they got it. You know, whatever.
But freelancers is fine because we spend all of our money and we're broke, and you realize we stimulate the economy more than your average guy with a job who saves.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I'm not going to argue it.
I mean,
and
think
I
about
think it's okay.
gig workers, Uber drivers fall under gig workers. So
Yeah.
they stimulate the economy. I
Yeah,
think.
they got to buy gas, tires,
Unpopular opinion,
car washes.
fucking, that's not a career. That's not a job.
What,
That's
driving for Uber?
right.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
they
you'll
should
get
still-
canceled
they-
for that
I was,
now.
about, I was about to say, but they should still get benefits because they're employees. It's not a job, but you're still a fucking employee.
Yeah, which is weird.
Because
too,
at some level, it's fun to drive.
But they do that new thing now that I hate, that thing that they just did. Kevin Hart did a show called like Lyft Comics.
I was on that.
Were you?
I was on it. It was
I
the
just
most
hate it.
ridiculous concept.
Because I was an actual Uber driver for a little while, and I hated telling people that I was a comic. You know what I
They
mean?
should have gotten real Uber drivers and Lyft drivers
That
to
you
do
wrote
that
for.
show. The whole thing made no sense. They literally got extras to come. Then probably they're gonna. It already came out, but there's not gonna be a.
To be fair, if you're watching it, it's all fake.
Bro, I bombed so bad on the thing. It's hilarious. But so
Are you facing the audience?
No.
he's driving.
No, I'm
Then
driving.
how are you
Driving
gonna
one
fucking
person.
kill? You're gonna turn around like, hey, so what? You guys
Yeah.
here?
Well, people don't know comedy.
Mm-hmm.
They just think like, yeah, you get in there, you tell it. I come there the first. They're like, yeah, so you'll do like 45 minutes, right? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I can barely do 2 minutes on stage with a good crowd. Like 45 minutes for one person while I'm driving. I'm Asian. I'm gonna crash and it's gonna be crazy. And they literally, they're like, well, you're a professional. I'm like, no, I'm not. But.
And
So-
who's gonna take a 45-minute Uber?
And nobody's
drive?
a fucking professional comedian driver.
That's
They
a good
just-
point too. It's
yeah.
never 45 minutes in an Uber,
No.
you know. But they so they got background. Here's the best part. They got I want them to hear this. They got background extras, who are people who want to be actors.
And they got
To be
paid
the
more than you
passenger.
did, didn't they?
No, that's not.
Oh,
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that bad. But you got to remember, these people come on. They're actors.
Yes.
They're thinking like, oh my god,
Someone's
if I
gonna
show
see
my
me.
tits, maybe I'll get featured. And I'll get my
Yeah.
Taft Hartley, and I'll be, fucking Adrian Brody soon. And so they come in there, and then they find out they're just sitting in the car and being told. They literally told them to shut up and let the
Yeah.
people do their jokes. They're all mad. So I'm the star doing my jokes, and they're like, fuck this. Fuck this, this
I did
weird
not
looking
study
person.
Shakespeare for all my life to be here silently.
Yeah, yeah. And then this douche is like, who is this douche? One guy.
I'm
One
the
person
star of
literally
the
was like-
fucking show. I'm the guy that cast it. What do you mean? Who's this douche?
Bro, they made me look so bad in the thing.
Actors and comics do not get along.
No,
dude.
because I used to do background work also, and it was so funny. The actors took themselves so seriously, and I'm like,
Of course.
I'm just here for the free food and killing time until open mic. As a matter
They-
of fact, if this leads into my open mic, I'm bailing and I'm not getting paid.
They make you feel bad too, because you get there, they're fucking yoga pose screaming their lines out. You're just sitting there like with Cheeto dust in your fucking belly
Yeah.
button. You're
If-
like,
if I may.
I haven't looked at the sides, dude. What are you
Actors
doing?
Are Sideshow Bob's brother. What the fuck was his name? Cecil?
Sideshow Mel.
Sideshow Bob's brother was Cecil, and he was going to be a great comedian. And then the reason Sideshow Bob got the job is because Sideshow Bob had dignity. That's the difference between actors and comics.
Yeah.
Is that an actor's like, I will give my all to this role and project my voice and speak clearly with
Yeah.
no forehead tension. And comics just like, yo, how much we gonna pay for this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're
when
way
do you
more
cut the
relaxed.
check?
Yeah, I got a spot. When were you shooting till?
Yeah. Yep.
That's every time I do a commercial shoot or a film shoot. As soon as I get there, I'm asking the PAs, all right, when are we gonna wrap? We're gonna wrap by 6.
Bruh.
Right? I have a spot at I was gonna say the strip, the Stamp New York at 8:20.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we don't care. This is
I
a $1 million
walked-
production.
I walked off the set of Power to go do Richie Redding's podcast. Okay? Like, it's me, Charlie Murphy, rest in peace. Like, this,
Right.
like, who knew this was going to be the last time I see this guy? You know what I mean?
It was
I'm like,
background though, right?
Huh?
It was background work?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Who gives a fuck, dude?
It
Yeah.
was just funny though. It's like I'm here with like all of these celebrities in this courtroom scene,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, can you do a podcast in half an hour?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And I just disappeared.
That life is brutal, man.
I want to do it just for the experience of doing it, but I've never heard any great stuff about it. It just sounds like fun
Oh,
for a
background
while.
work?
Yeah, yeah.
No, you can.
Yeah, the craziest part is the people that are happy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people you think they might have had a lobotomy where you're like, "Why are you so excited?"
I think I
about
like
this?
it just because you said they feed you. So you just show up for a while, they feed you.
That
you
is a good
you
part.
Get paid, yeah.
Do
maybe-
they? No, they only feed the people who are in the union.
No, they feed everyone.
I think everybody gets fed because we
feed
at the
everyone.
old spot I used to work at, they used to shoot there, so we'd have background people and shit coming in, and everybody got to eat. I
union-
wasn't allowed to eat. Maybe that's why I wanted to. do it, 'cause
Union
they
gets
let
to
me
eat first, then the leftovers get to the
Damn.
non-union.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the dumb first class shit. Union people should be eating last. You're making all the money. Most of them don't eat the
No,
shit.
no. To be fair,
I
order
if
their
I'm paying
own
dues,
food.
you eat first. No,
But
union.
union
I
people
fuck with
who
the
are
union
paying
heavy.
dues are usually vegan. They usually bring their own food. You know what I mean? Most of them are maybe fasting for a role. Nobody eats the shit.
As Hove said, you can't knock the hustle. If you're in the union, you get all the perks. You don't
Yeah.
just take some of the. It's not like you could pick and choose which perks to take,
it's
baby.
not their fault too. It's the union. Like they negotiate these things. It's not like they showed up. and,
Well,
like,
here's the other thing, though. Union food is usually in a different room
Yeah.
than the other people's shit. So it's like, why are we waiting? Why can't we all go and they just go over there where they get
it's like high school, man. It's like
Yeah.
popular kids sit there, you sit next to the dumpster and shut the
Yeah,
fuck
and
up.
that happens a lot on set. You're friends with people
Yeah.
until you find out they're SAG.
Yeah.
Until you find out they're union, and then you're like,
I can't fuck
I
with
can't
you.
see you.
I lost all my
Too
when I-
real.
Yeah, when I joined, I lost all my friends.
Yeah.
So James, what's your unpopular opinion this week, man?
So we just do one. Right, okay. Here's one I just thought of. I think we should do a sweep of people in the world and just take away cell phones. Like maybe about like 80% of people in the world, they just take their cell phones away because we don't all deserve cell phones. Like if you have a job where it's like you need to be on your phone, like for us, we're all comedians, we're on social media, we need the internet, we need to send emails all the time, gigs. You should have a phone. But if you work a regular 9-to-5 job and you don't need to be on there all the time, and especially if you're posting stuff like you just got out of your dentist appointment,
Yeah.
you should get your phone taken away. Like
Yeah.
100%. Or if you troll people, just take them away. Everyone should be vetted. There should be a process to get a phone. Like you have to
Yeah.
fill out a form and be accepted.
What do you need this for?
Yeah,
You should be in
don't-
the
Everyone
union.
should need it. People take pictures. Was that?
You should
be in the union to get
Yeah,
a
it
phone.
should be a union, a phone union. Yeah. But that's what I think. I think we should, and there's going to be a lot of sad white girls that are going to be pissed off, but we need to just take their fucking phones away. We don't all need them. It's ridiculous. People don't talk to people anymore. People are getting the shit kicked out of them in the street, and people are filming it. It's crazy.
We
dude.
talked about this earlier in the show, and this would be me included, but I would say you could narrow that down quickly by just anyone who has an iPhone or an Apple product, take it from them. because they don't need it. I don't know anyone who has an iPhone Pro Max that needs anyone who has the Max. Take that right away. You know what I mean?
I see, yeah.
If you've got little hands and you got a giant screen, nope, give me that. Give me that because you're already.
We all don't really need any of this shit.
But Apple people,
Yeah.
they're already the
So
prime
keep
target.
this in my pocket.
Hey, just get rid of it. But you'd be a part of that 80% that's got to give up your phone.
No, I got 10,000 followers on Instagram. I got to keep people engaged.
That's why you got to give it up. Exactly. For that reason right there.
But no, it's part of my job though. But it's part of my job. If you're working in a 9-to-5 job where your computer there is your accounts receivable or whatever human resource, you don't need a phone. You don't need a phone.
You're sitting in front of a computer most of the time.
Yeah, well, that's what you don't. Other than that, you don't.
No, but
need
I'm
it.
saying like
Yeah.
all your shit. You don't need the computer.
Yeah, you
that's
don't
in
need
your
it on
pocket.
you.
But
Yeah.
so you're saying mostly for people that travel for work and need to communicate while they're traveling.
Right.
Yeah, if you actually need it, you can take it. You should be able to have it. But if you don't need it, if it's like not part of your job, you don't need it. 'Cause
Yeah.
everyone talk. It's a hack bit, but it's like the phones are ruining us all. Right. And then like, but I love it still. You know.
I'm gonna go on record and say this is probably gonna be the most unpopular opinion we've ever had.
Of course.
As
You
everyone's
trying to
viewing
take-
this
trying to take
on their phones.
Yeah, I was about
yeah.
to say, yeah.
If you're viewing this right now, you need
But
your phone because we
also-
want more listeners. But
But
If you're-
also, if you try to help people, they're going to kill you.
trying to help people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't help people. You have to manipulate them. So for you trying to do something good to the world, that's not going to work.
Yeah, you would literally
hate that.
need someone to make cell phones uncool.
This is so funny. Like when COVID happened, everyone's like, wear your mask, and people did it. But if I'm trying to take people's phones, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just how like that's the line right there.
Yeah.
You know.
Because that's the people's lifeline. But I do agree.
Yeah.
A majority of the people do not like. If we could get it back to like the days of like when like I don't know, like the numbers were. Let's say just look at like Saved by the Bell, right? That
Yeah.
group. Zach Morris was the only one that had a phone out of all of those people, right?
Yeah.
So how many people we're talking about? Slater, Screech, Jesse, Lisa, Kelly, Zach, right? That's 6 people.
I don't know. I never saw the show.
Okay, my
Yeah.
bad. I'm
You
sorry.
get-
Yeah,
you-
you did
you're
say
about
he's in
right.
his
Sounds about
20s.
right.
Yeah.
6 people, 1 guy with a phone. You know what I mean? So what's that? About 15%. That's a good ratio
That
of the
should be
population.
it. You one
15%.
family, one phone. That's fine, dude. You know if you. One family, one phone. You just share the fuck. There's kids that have phones, and
Yeah.
you know what parents do when they can't control their kids, they just give them their phone to make them shut up. Like that. What are we doing?
But remember, this is why it won't work. Remember when they tried to limit how much the ounces in soda would be in New York City, and
Right.
people got crazy?
Yeah.
You're like, are you going to
Champagne.
limit the ounces of Coca-Cola I can drink? Like, no, I'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you, like they were about to kill whoever came up with that idea. Like
Yeah.
I will murder you with my diabetic fingers.
Yeah.
So how are you going to take the cell how are you going to take the cell phone from
Well,
them? You
in my world, we would
Right.
Sweet.
we would hire
Task
we
force.
we could actually do it.
Pow!
We
Kick
all
you in the door.
Just dress in all black, cover, mask on for COVID safety.
Zip ties
obviously.
and shit.
Yeah. We'll go in and just take people, just smash them and just stomp on them, and they're gonna be like, "What are you doing?" And then
No.
we'll just do this all day. It'll be fun.
Now let me ask you this: Does it work if we like maybe not take everyone's phone, but at least how about we just cut everyone's data plan? And we go
Interesting.
back to a limited amount of minutes. So you're probably too young for this. There was a time
Nights
where
and
you
weekends.
used to have to pre-purchase
So we can-
the amount of minutes you were going to use for the month.
No, I remember.
Yeah.
I was
250,
I remember
400,
texting.
you know
Texting
what I
was
mean?
limited too. Like
Texting used to cost 35 cents per text,
Yeah.
so people didn't do it.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
call me before 9. Call me
Right.
after 9 when it's free.
Right.
Phones were in people's hands, but people had to think about what they were posting. People had to think about whether or not they were going to get online because
That's everyone talks about like
I wish there was a function on my phone that would
make sure I didn't send drunk text. If you had to pay 35 cents each fucking text, you would think about that
yeah,
shit more.
Sprint had
Yes.
Sprint. They were trying to take care of us. I don't know if you remember Sprint.
Sprint was trying to take care.
Sprint charged 35 cents a text message, 400 minutes, and if you went over, they would tax you.
They wouldn't even let you know. You just get your phone bill. It's $3 million.
And they cut your phone off for 50 cents being past due. That was the biggest thing with
shit.
Sprint. Sprint would cut your phone off for the littlest thing, and they were not waiving reactivation fees. So it'd be like, okay, your phone is getting cut off for $15, and you
Yeah.
owe us another $35 to get it cut back on. You know what I mean?
Bro.
So like back then there were people who would just go get a new number because they were like, yeah, I can't pay what I owe over here at Sprint.
Do you remember when you were a kid, getting your phone turned off by your parents? You would just regular day. I'm gonna text my my slight piece or whatever. And you just open it, it's just not working. And you're like, Mom, Dad, what the fuck?
I've never had. I've only had cell phones that I pay for myself. My mom to this day. She's one of those like, what do you need that for? So she would never have supported it. My mom didn't even like me having a beeper. You know what I mean?
If I got a B+, because my mom's Asian, phone be off the next day. Phone be off the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, I'd just be like crying, and she'd be like, "Fuck, you do better in school."
Did you? Did you do better?
Here's the thing I'm starting to realize about me.
Yeah,
I take it hard on myself. It's like there's just some things I can't do. I'm just not smart, So I used to give myself shit for it. I'm like, I just never had the capability. So I'm at peace with it now. So long answer, no, it never got better. No,
yeah, I should have known. You're a Chinese comedian, so yeah.
Chinese Puerto Rican, motherfucker.
Chinese Puerto Rican.
We're emphasizing on the Chinese for the humor, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing too is cameras. We don't all need cameras. That.
Camera phones or just cameras in general?
Just don't all need cameras.
James is coming across as a little Unabomber-ish right now. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah?
I get laid. That's fine. I'm not going to be Unabomber.
Told you, pussy's the key, man.
Pussy is the key. I may look it and I may talk like it, but, that's probably how
No shacks in your future? We're good?
No shack?
No shacks?
Yeah.
Well, he's
They're
not
gonna move out
smart
to the
enough to be
forest?
the Unabomber. He was a PhD in mathematics.
I saw that doc, dude. That guy's the smartest fucking guy, dude.
Yeah.
He was a genius.
But that's usually what turns you into a killer. You get frustrated. Like the same way you want to liquidate the world of phones because of how dumb it makes people and it's annoying.
Yeah.
That guy, he's had it up to here with people existing.
But his whole thing was tech. That was a Unabomber's thing. His whole thing was tech.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, boy.
Get rid of all this tech. This tech is
You
ruining
just realize
us.
what you sound like?
I was like, I'm screaming about technology. That's the whole Unabomber's whole.
Yeah.
He's dead now, right?
Yeah.
Or is he still in
Thankfully,
jail?
no, he's dead.
Oh, dude, he'd be jerking off to this episode.
The last bomber we had was a guy on Christmas Day in downtown. What was it, Nashville or whatever? That he set off that bomb and killed himself.
Christmas Day? Did he do anybody else with him or no?
No. He went down Christmas Day, Christmas morning to downtown Nashville by the AT&T. He was an anti-5G conspiracy guy, so he goes and blows up the AT&T.
Just
building.
5G, not 4G.
Yeah, no,
What
5G.
about
is
LTE?
when they hit. No.
LTE is
When you hit the 5, he's like, this is too far.
Yeah.
This got to be stopped.
And yeah, he might have been right. As someone who upgraded to the iPhone 12 to take advantage of 5G, this 5G is ass, okay? 5G doesn't work in my apartment. It's ridiculous. But
you know what's crazy? Remember when 3G was like a thing? Oh, 3G, wow. And now you get 3G. Now it's 3G, and it's terrible. I'm like, am I being exposed to 5G, which is actually better, or is 3G just shittier now?
Well, here's what changed more than anything is the information that you're streaming. So as opposed to when you just had 3G, maybe you're low quality YouTube videos, but now you're streaming shit in 4K, so it's more data.
That's a good point, yeah.
So you need a bigger funnel to get to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's more than anything else is what
vagina for my dick.
we wouldn't need it if everyone didn't have fucking phones.
I didn't say that like I said, it's not everyone, but I think we got to limit. We got to just.
Are people doing the opposite, like disconnecting? Like, my phone is on Do Not Disturb 24 hours a day. I don't do
I know
social
people
media.
like that, yeah.
I stopped text. I don't do group text anymore. I don't talk to people on the phone. I was like, you want to talk to me? I'll meet you in person. I'll
I think
hang out with you.
you are probably the only person on this block that's doing that right now.
Right, but there's not more people doing that.
No, I don't think so.
Not really.
Because
Not in a metropolitan city at least. Like that's Midwest behavior. You know what I mean? That's like you understand there are real estates in Montana who don't need cell phones.
right, but I'm thinking like Kaczynski and this other guy bombing shit. Like that's the Like, why would you do that? Just fucking turn it off or just.
In Kaczynski's case,
But you
he
can't
was
trust people.
crusading. Right, but in Kaczynski's case, he's crusading to bring awareness of this issue to people, which is why he published a manifesto and all this other stuff. So he had this mission to fix the world.
Does it
that
make
he saw was
sense?
Fucked up. No, it was
On
completely
no
insane.
level? Okay, then I won't
No,
look into
the
it.
Start killing
principle-
people, it's
well,
probably
the
not going to
principle
make
of
sense.
technology getting out of hand. Pardon me. The principle of technology getting out of hand is always it's always a present thing in all, and it's a present theme, right?
Right.
He took it to like this crazy level of just like this is going to be the downfall of society, and the way I'm going to fix the situation and bring awareness to it is by blowing people up. Who I
Is to
believe are
send a
contributing to it.
send a
To send
letter
those
bomb to
those
Noam
bombs were targeted
Chomsky.
to people that he felt were making the problem worse.
Here's another unpopular opinion. Whenever
it to us.
people that mass murderers or serial killers start talking about why they do what they do, I'm the first person like, I don't give a fuck, dude. You just go to jail. Like, I don't care what you're,
Like the technology or like the devil made me do it. It's just, or like, I was a picked on when I was a kid. It's like, who gives a fuck, dude? Like, you killed the people, it's done. No one, your reasoning shouldn't matter, but people, want to find out and they want us to see mentally insane or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
I personally think the
cares?
media does that so that they can inspire someone else to do more.
Well,
and
they
do
make them
better.
into some of these docs. They make them into like likable people.
Yeah.
Like they always say like he killed blah blah blah. Then they start going back to his past and start like he was
But here's
diddled
why.
as a kid. His uncle fucked him in the eyeball, and you're just like, oh, stop making me feel bad for this guy that raped all these people. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
this I don't care. It shouldn't matter.
But then there's some cases like Making a Murderer where
Right.
that town locked up the autistic nephew, and we were all like,
Wait, what was
Spoiler alert.
You remember Making a Murderer? There was like this documentary that everyone went nuts about a few years ago on Netflix. This guy went to jail for murder for like years for a murder that he didn't commit.
Oh god.
But he finally got an appeal and got out. But then something happened where they put him back in.
Okay.
They put him back in for like another crime or something else weird happened.
Right.
But yeah, and that was the thing. They were just following this injustice because this white guy in Wisconsin was in jail for a murder that he didn't commit.
Yeah.
And his nephew, who was also autistic, redneck type dude, they were like, they were pressing him to admit shit where you could tell he was just like, they just pulled this kid out of like science class and just started asking him questions at the precinct.
Yeah.
And then he ended up in jail for life. So like the documentary, everyone's like, free the autistic boy. You know what I mean? Like, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
but everybody in the town was like, fuck that, burn him. You know what I mean? Because they're
Yeah.
all autistic too. So they don't see anything different about this boy. We're in a major metropolitan
Listen,
city.
I definitely think if you kill people, whatever, and you are autistic or just mentally unable to stand trial or whatever, it's just got to be like, this person's. If we put this person wherever, are they going to hurt other people? And you just got to take it from there. That's what I think.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
I thought I was safe by tackling serial killers, but now you got me scared. I'm going to get canceled.
what, the autistic stuff?
There's
you
no
can't get
autistic
canceled
serial
for that.
killer.
Like,
What about the
'cause here's thing.
auties, James?
Yeah, I'm not talking trash about that. Now, I mean, even me addressing them that way as autistic is way better than our ancestors who used to just throw them off of cliffs. Like, this doesn't work. You know what I mean?
I know.
So
Brutal.
we're leaps and bounds beyond that. And
Yeah.
if you ever cancel me for referring to autistic people, I'm always going to deflect to the people who threw
I
them off
kind
of
of want to
cliffs.
say shout out to Sparta for that one.
Yeah, you know what I
They started that whole cliff thing.
But there's just something interesting now, like with this murdering stuff. It's people have it. You see it. It's like coming at what's that thing called where you do something cathartic?
Okay.
Like all this stuff in the movies now, you're seeing it's cathartic. Like the what's that thing where they do the not the pledge, but they one day out of the year
The Purge.
The Purge.
Okay, yeah,
You
yeah,
start
yeah.
seeing that shit, and now everything because people want to kill people. I'm telling, like,
Yeah,
and here's how
absolutely.
I know. But they need to make it's got to be sexy. So every fucking movie now is about a hitman. The hitman's wife. The hitman this. The hitman that. Watch how many hitman movies have come out in the last fucking 5 years, and it's like there's something going on here, like with people, and they're just trying to package it differently because people were obsessed with how to make murder, how to do this, and they're like, it's kind of weird that we're glorifying this person, but now it's like, oh, the hitman, he's so cool and he's sexy and can get away from shit. But it's like,
Yeah.
it's fucking, it's all weird.
I love that when these guys go to jail and these girls just start sending them naked pictures of themselves.
Some of them
Yeah.
get married
I'm
in
just-
there.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what is wrong? Like, what the fuck?
It's a very roundabout way to get laid.
I think they're attracted to that alpha male
Yeah.
energy. You know
and,
what I mean?
and the bad
I mean,
boys,
there's
combination
nothing.
of both.
You're gonna
Yeah,
die.
there's nothing
you
more
don't
alpha
see
than a
that.
serial killer.
The interesting thing is you don't see that on the opposite. You understand what I'm saying? You don't
What
see
you
the
mean?
guys sending, chicks who kill.
Yeah, because
I do.
you do.
Really? No.
I'm about to now that you mentioned it.
Go
Yeah.
look at some bitch on death row. Yo, ma, what's good? How you feel? Yeah, no, they're not as sexy.
Do you think a high I guess fucking stop saying something. No, it's not good.
No, you
That
gotta
was the
say
whole
it.
show. The whole show is to say things that are not
what,
good.
What do you think? What do you think? I can't.
Text it to me and I'll say it.
Yeah.
All right, all right, this segment's
bad.
called Popular Opinions.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's
I
so-
can't-
I love
can't-
the iPhone. I love Jeff Bezos. Amazon, great. Yay.
New show with Conrad Roth. I can't say that.
All right. What do you think the percentage of lesbians in women's prison is?
like
Wait.
real lesbian,
Yeah, I
like
was about to
lesbian
say, yeah, you
before
gotta
they got
qualify
there.
this one.
No. Like they're lesbians. They're born lesbians, and then do you think it's like the WNBA?
Meaning that most of them are lesbian.
Right.
So wait, are we saying women who are born lesbians? You think that they're committing crimes more, like they have that in them?
I mean, what's the probability? What do you think?
You know what? I'm sure there's got to be some statistics on that.
I mean,
I don't know that there are, like, because there's sometimes statistics get you killed.
And they could be skewed as with anything. You know what I mean?
I recently heard a statistic that highest rate of divorces in lesbian relationships, middle relationship, like hetero relationships, high rate of divorce. Lowest rate is man, like
Yeah.
gay dudes. So
Lowest?
yeah,
Lowest.
Yeah, I believe that. Dudes get over things so quickly, man.
yeah, which is
We
like
just forget. We just
So,
don't want any problems.
Lesbians move in together the fastest.
yeah. So when you look at like that middle couple, like you kind of know who's the problem,
Yeah, you know what made me laugh is when there was a straight woman in the WNBA, and she said she was getting picked on because
Yeah.
she was heterosexual. I was like, that's so fucking
That is
funny.
How did you
Yeah.
not see this coming?
Yeah.
No, it's just like funny. It's
Fucking
like like everyone can bully. Like don't think that you're
Yeah.
above bullying because you're of this like protected group or like whatever.
No,
if it was a majority of you, you'd bully that other person too.
Yeah.
But that's also proof the same thing. Like you just said, like it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with numbers. If you flipped everybody right now and put black people on top, or you went to another world where black people were the majority
You
instead
mean
of the
Africa?
No.
Black,
I get what you're
It's the
saying.
same situation. You have
What
for
kind?
every
Black
white
land.
person here you have to flip it, right? So if you if you keep everything politically and everything, the history the same, but the majority was white. Now here, right? Now you flip it, so the majority is black people, right? You would still have the same problems.
But I'd be the coolest motherfucker out because I'd be walking on the street.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying.
Because
People like to gang up
because
on
it's a number
people,
thing.
yeah.
The majority is always going to pick on the minority.
I always feel whenever I grew up in the city. I mean, in New, Central Jersey. I went to Rutgers, and I live here now. Always been surrounded by diversity.
Yeah.
So whenever I go anywhere, it could be any race where it's like overwhelmingly specific race. I feel like they're going to gang up on me. Like I feel like they're gonna beat me up at some point. Like they could. Like
You look very gangable.
a gang beat up. I look like I could get beat up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I could see it because you look at your face. You're very open. You don't look like you don't look angry.
Right.
You're just happy to be here. And people who are happy to be here are the people who get fucked with.
I look happy to be here.
You weren't, but it's not your fault. You weren't raised to walk around with an expression on your face that says, "I'll smack the
know.
shit out of you."
Wait, James, you
No,
got
I
any
think
siblings?
No, I don't have any siblings.
Because I feel like, hey, James, you feel like you have a brother that is into crime. Like I feel like there's someone who looks just like him that has like more tattoos and is like brolic a bit more. And you
No,
can
he's
just
such a
see,
nice guy.
But you
James-
can see the difference
James is
between like
guileless.
if James, huh?
James is guileless. James
I
is
don't know.
not. James does
He
not
seems
come
like he's
across.
pretty adaptable.
No, but he's guileless, and it's not a bad thing.
Guileless or
Guileless.
guileless?
Guileless. Like for example, there's no
Guiel.
there's no deceit when you talk to James. James is just happy to be here. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
James doesn't
Gullible.
keep anything. Not
No,
gullible.
not
No, because
gullible.
gullible's different. Gullible's
You're not
naive.
looking to deceive anybody.
Put
It
this
is,
way,
it is
if
what
I,
it is.
If I was to push you right now, we'd be fighting.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not gonna let nobody fuck with you. But you're
Yeah.
also not really fucking with anybody. As opposed to me, I was raised like, yo, you better
I see what
make
you're saying.
sure
Right.
that
I don't
at
want any
every given
problems.
moment.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
cool enough where like if someone would start fucking with you, like I'm not just gonna let somebody fuck. Like even if I know, like I would always stand up for you just because it's like there's no reason to not stand up for James. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll be good.
It's
As
been-
opposed to as opposed to like when you like people like we know, like if you see somebody getting fucked with, you're like, I don't know what he said though. I don't know what he said. Like if somebody, like if I walk in a room and somebody's fucking with you, I'm like, yo, why they fucking with James? As opposed to I walk into a room with somebody else I know, I'm like, what the fuck did he do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he do? Like you
Yeah.
got to pull him to the side, yo. What did you do? That's the first thing you
But
say.
Give James
You-
some time.
you
James is out here trying to take people's cell phones. Eventually, somebody's gonna fuck him up, man.
But he's not doing it. But he's not doing it to flip him. He's doing it to help the planet, bro.
I just think we don't.
He's not trying to take it out your hand and get money for that shit. He wants you to be better.
I just don't think we all need to get rid of stuff we don't need.
Yeah, I
think
agree,
we
man.
all-
Yo, for real.
Minimize.
That one I could if you
Minimize.
stop and look at your shit, like just your entirety of your entire life, you can easily cut out 30% of the shit you own.
Yeah.
So how come
Even if
people
it's
don't
ju-
do it?
Because you're attached to that. There's a lot of I have a lot of shit that I'm like just started like cleaning out the closet and shit.
Yeah, we talked
And I
ab-
was like, yo, I got to get rid of all these t-shirts I wear. But it's the second I say that, I start looking at them going, oh, but I got to wear this one again. I got to wear this one
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like this one. I like this one. What all you got to do is just get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
forget,
why
forget
gotta-
things. There's people in your life you got to cut out.
Correct.
That's real hard, man.
But
That's
you gotta
real
stop
hard.
looking at them as people.
Pardon me.
Look at them
Cutting
as
people out.
disposable, and you probably need to double up and have more people in your life. That way, it's easy to get rid of the ones who you don't like. You know,
Just
All
stop
right.
talking to them on the cell phone.
James, this has been great.
Yeah, I hope.
Ask them if they're in the union. If they're not,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
gotta go.
This is the callback hour with Dave Temple. James, man, this has been great, man. I love the opinion. Where can the people find you online if they're looking for you?
Everywhere. James Camacho website. Tour dates are on there. Camacho, bro. Am I even looking? I'm just looking at you. That's not even the. I just looked at.
Oh, the camera's
I looked
up
at the
there.
dude's soundboard as if it was the camera. I was like talking to it. Camacho, bro. CAMACHBRO on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everything. Tour dates. JamesCamacho.com/shows. And go see Kevin Hart's.
Catch
I'm
him
about
in
to say,
Live
make sure you plug that one.
Comics.
Go see Live Comics. Even though I just tore it apart. You think?
I think that's.
They sent me a thing like, "What? Tweet about it." It's not like Kevin Hart's not gonna retweet the fucking shit I say. You know?
He will. Like his account will. Yeah, his account will.
Oh, really?
He's a master at marketing. So it's someone's job to scour Twitter and Google and anything for anything Kevin Hart, and then they try to reshare the positive.
Well, listen, I had a fun time on there. And I really appreciated you letting me drive a Cadillac Escalade, and I was good.
Yeah, it's probably not good to. You got to be a company man. You got to be trustworthy with secrets.
With secrets?
Yeah, which is don't pull back the curtain on shows.
This is
because
coming from
I
the
think
guy.
everybody-
Oh, I
Let's
see what you're
see
saying.
I
Such
think
a
everybody
suit.
knows that already.
Don't worry about
they
it. We
don't.
don't.
They don't.
We don't have a
There's
huge-
still people who think WWE is.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We don't have a huge following with this show yet. You know what I mean? This is still
Right.
So you know what I mean?
Listen, it'll be fine. I'll do Uber ride. Uber comics. It'll be fine.
Thanks for coming by, James, man.
Always a
Appreciate
pleasure.
you weighing
Thanks,
in,
bro. I love
man.
you
All
guys.
right, no doubt,
Yeah.
man. Take care. Just slide on out here. All right. So, man, you're already off the grid with the cell phone. You think about what you think. You'll give yours up?
I miss my Nokia flip that you just pressed a button. It was like a Star Trek communicator. If I can get that phone back, as much as I love this phone, I would just have a tablet instead. If I can get that phone back, that exact phone that works ignited with the little flip, yeah, because all you could do is text message on it.
Okay. Well, I know we ran our course with this show. This was a fun one, man. So let me go ahead and get right to the final thought. I just talk directly to that camera and get our final thought as we get out of here, guys. It's getting hot. So, as we get hot, we're going to talk about this in the next show. We're going to live tonight. It's definitely time to put the clothes away. It's definitely time to dress a bit different.
100%.
Time to start cutting out the extras, as we learned here today. Extramarital affairs, multiple women, multiple partners. Why do that? Focus on the finer things in life, the simpler things in life, like the middle seat of the airplane, particularly the back row. And for the love of God, click on your cell phone. You're not that important. You don't really need it, all right? I'm Dave Temple. This has been Unpopular Opinions. My co-host, say goodbye. Cisco.
Peace.
Conrad.
Goodbye, everybody.
Take care.